Welcome to the Six Soul Sisters podcast, a collective of women creating community through deep conversation.
Well, I think a lot of people struggle. I mean, I shouldn't say that, but I struggle with it a lot. I think I've come into myself a little bit more lately, but throughout my life, I've definitely struggled with the stereotypes of what everyone is supposed to be, and how everyone feels individually and kind of thing.
I understand what you mean. Because me being a girl, when I was in high school, I used to always just be, no, I'm one of the cool girls. I'm not a typical girl, So I just rejected anything female, and I was I'm cool. I drink beer. I listen to rock music. I'm not a typical girl. And then I got older and no, I'm a fucking woman. Yeah.
Totally.
And then started embracing more of the feminine side of me, I guess. Yeah.
Well, I remember seeing a post not even too long ago, and it was when I was younger, I always used to be I'm not like other girls. When I meet a boy, I tell them, oh, I'm not like other girls. Basically saying, oh, other girls are shit. Which isn't true at all. I'm kind of rejecting who I am as a person. Yeah, and I used to do that all the time as a kid. And now I don't as much because I'm oh no, I actually am a lot of girls.
Yeah.
We're all kind of
similar in a
and
way.
there's
nothing wrong with being other girls.
Right?
But in high school,
amazing. But
when you're having the worst time of your life, because that's the worst time of everyone's life, I found that it was very desirable to be one of those girls that could hang with the guys because you were cool, and that meant that you were good. You were something better than other girls if you could hang with the boys. And that's something to unpack in itself because why did I want that so bad? They're not doing that much interesting stuff.
Why did you want to be a girl that was worthy enough for that attention with boys all the time? What does it matter in the first place?
Well, I think it's for me, there was always this misconception that those girls were super catty and bitchy and gossipy, and all they cared about was makeup and sleeping around, and there was that kind of stereotype, and that's not me. I want to go skateboarding, and I want to hang out in the woods and go hiking and listen to rock music. I didn't want all of that, so I kind of rejected it, and it was this idea that guys made better friends because you could just shoot the shit. And my experience was if you had an issue with a male friend, it was just buddy, not cool. And they were yeah, you're right, not cool, let's fix this. Whereas girls, there was always this but we're so pinched against each other in that way, right? It's totally conditioned, because nowadays my girlfriends, it's just girl, let's jam this out, right? You learn how, and I think we've dropped a lot of those stereotypes that we're taught to buy into.
Well, we're taught to not trust other women.
Totally.
A boyfriend, I always use this example, but a man cheats on his girlfriend, who does the other who does the girlfriend hate? The other girl, not the dude. Why? Why are women being kind of taught to compete with each other for male attention?
Breaks my appeal.
No, it just breaks my heart.
Right?
Because together we're so much stronger, and we were back in the day, we connected as tribes, and women were there when the men went off and fought.
Women were the healers.
We were community together, and now it was funny because I had this wonderful woman on my podcast that I also have. Her name's Amanda, and we were kind of talking about this, how did this come to be? Why are women pitted against each other? And she talked about the witch trials.
Yes, I've heard it attributed to
Yes,
before.
I know that we were tattling on our sisters because otherwise we were going to get burned at the stake. So we're pitted against each other from there, and it's just deep-rooted ancestral stuff that we continue to carry over to this day.
I would love to point out over 3 million women were murdered, burned, drowned because of the witch trials. Which was basically a revolution against female and just power, which is and we were just pitted against each other. And
well, even the idea of a witch and what the witch stands
Today
for
still is kind of taboo
and turned down, and it's not desirable. It's still you're such a witch instead of
Disney movies make the witches look ugly.
Evil. But really, the witches were healers, and
Reiki healers.
even like plant healers, like plant medicine healers,
visionaries, like they are essentially witches who have changed their names because that's really taboo to call yourself that.
A witch still, to this day. Yeah. But that like a lot of women's powers are found in those things, like in the healing and the nurturing. And so it was pretty much just saying like your feminine traits are bad. And so it was a hunt against the women, but it was like a hunt against women power, as you said, right? All the things that women were kind of known to do. It's like a way of controlling the powerful women within the tribes, essentially.
And like even coming back to like today, like how Shannon said that like everyone carries like ancestral burdens. Like all those women were killed. Like all of us, like as a collective, are still feeling that trauma from all the women that have gone before us, kind of thing, that have been burned. And
I like that perspective a lot, just because from psychology, I've taken a few developmental psychology classes, and one of the first things that you learn is even like in other mammals, when you're children, you will migrate towards your same-sex playmates, and that's, who you stay with. It starts in preschool, and it doesn't really taper off until adolescence. So those are just people that you gravitate towards. And neither sex is really more aggressive than the other. It's just in how it happens. Girls are catty. Like, we will do relationship aggression, and we are more gossipy, whereas boys will, do that rough and tumble play, and they're okay fighting it out and stuff like that. Yeah. And so, like, there's definitely biological differences as well go with the anthropological standpoint. That, it's just more variables that contribute to what it is that's going on now.
And even with like the balancing, like it seems that a lot of people are trying to find that balance between masculine and feminine and equality, but I also think like let's celebrate the fact that there's differences between the men and the women. There are biological differences, so like let's not try to whitewash all of us. Let's like celebrate men for what they're amazing at. Let's celebrate women for what they're amazing at. And then also, neither of them is better. And then like we're equal as humans, but we do have differences, and those are beautiful. But I think it's interesting, like how you were saying with like how girls just tend to overlook the male, like what they've done wrong, right? Like, and it's always like, oh, it was her fault. Like, I thought that was a really interesting point to kind of circle back to, like, and how we tend to forgive a lot of those transgressions, which is interesting, right? To unpack, like, with why we, like, same with why would we want to vie for the male's attention more than the females? Like, why was it cooler to hang out with the boys? Like, well, why are we taught to forgive their transgression and then put it all on this female? Like, she was just some like harlot and he just couldn't help himself. like I'm sorry, what? Like,
but I mean, women are powerful, so I mean, we do
No, we do not have any like luring magic vaginas up in here. Like, you're making a choice.
I think he 100% makes a choice, but we do have a luring power, right?
I'm not saying women are fundamentally different than men, and we do have this power. We're very powerful.
Pussy power.
Yes. I mean, maybe I'm kind of overstepping my boundaries, but like, I kind of have a very like, obviously, like, I think men are very strong and as a whole, but they honestly are kind of weak when it comes to sexualness. Like, they really kind of let everything go just to hit it.
Absolutely, but I mean, the logical part of your brain shuts off, like, biologically. Not an excuse, because we're, a little bit more intelligent than just being able to blame it on that, but it happens.
They're like, computed to just, like,
they think
procreate.
But I feel like I can't relate, because that's also what I think with, so, I mean.
It's true. It's
but I think that's maybe why we're, like, more pissed off at the girl, because we think, the guys can't fucking help themselves because they can't.
Like give them an excuse.
The women know what's up. Like, how dare she?
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. And also, if I'm thinking of a woman, I'm like, oh, she's my equal, and like, she could actually do that.
Right.
Piss me off a little bit more because I can't relate to a man the same way I can relate to a woman. So it's just like.
Fair.
And I think like if you know that he has a significant other, like then you are pretty shady if you're going after it, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, do you want to be that woman? Because the whole cheating circle thing or whatever, like
Karma is a bitch.
yeah, and it's just like, do you want for the whole cheating thing to stop, which whatever, if it will stop, if it won't, women have to be the type of women that aren't going to go do that. Because they're also making that choice.
Yeah.
There's two choices.
Yeah.
But it'll stop
Yeah.
with the women because I believe we have the power.
Yes.
Yeah.
I 100% like a few months ago had this guy that I had been like dating, and he started like, it was totally casual, so he found a girl that wanted a relationship. Cool. But then after a month I started getting these messages, and I'm like, did you break up with your girlfriend? He's like, no, and was trying to convince me that I should just come be some side piece, and I'm like, absolutely not ever.
Yeah.
Like, because and he's like, well, it's my girlfriend, it's my issue, right? Was
What?
his thing, like, if
Then
it's
don't
like,
put me into it.
right? And I'm like, but it's not, because I'm never going to be the kind of woman that's going to hurt another woman. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know her, but I'm still going to have the respect for her
Yeah.
to
100%.
not do that to someone, because it hurts when you get cheated on, right?
Yeah.
So why would you ever put yourself in the position to be that other woman? But it was also just like such an interesting mindset from his perspective of like, well, it's my relationship, so if I'm not worried about it, why
Oh
should
my
you be
goodness,
worried about
yeah.
it? And I was just like, because I have a moral code.
Yeah. I
Like,
can relate to that, yeah.
like, it was just like such a shocking situation, but it also makes you think like how many women don't just suddenly don't care. They're like, well, yeah, you're right. If you don't care about your relationship, why should I? Like, because it's just this, like, that other woman is not real to them,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's just like an intangible, essentially, right? And like maybe that's part of the problem is we don't humanize the other person, and we don't like have the empathetic moment of like putting ourselves in her shoes. We just think about like what we want, right? Like we're just thinking with, like, as you said, we're just thinking with our pussies, and they're just thinking with their dicks, and we're just like, yeah, let's go do this, right? But like, no, there is a whole other human being on the other side of this.
But I mean, that being said, you know, like, to counter your point, I don't know if women are any more responsible in that scenario
not at
than
all.
men are.
Not at
Because, you know,
all.
like, there's men that don't cheat,
Yeah.
there's
Oh,
women,
tons.
absolute assholes. So,
Yes,
I mean, like,
yeah.
it's an individual
Yeah.
choice.
Oh,
and so
totally.
it's difficult for me to make general statements in situations like
Yes.
that, because I feel like there's, you know, like, I'm a psych major. There's always anomalies. Like, I
Oh, yeah.
live
Yeah.
off of the presence of
Yes,
anomalies
yes,
and big
yes.
general ideas.
Yes.
So I mean, it's complicated to say.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
definitely can't like generalize. There are
No.
going to always be
Yeah.
like those one-offs and whatever. It was, I think we were coming more around like circling back to that idea of like in that situation.
Yeah.
Or in those situations in general, we tend to not think about the other. Like women don't always band together in the way that we could band together.
Yeah.
And in the instance where cheating does happen, it does tend to be that we pit it against the other woman instead of standing strong. And like you said, we're stronger when we're together, but we actually have to be united. Both like in the before, which is saying like, no dude, you have a girlfriend, like be united like before the instance, but also trying to be united like after the fact, and just being like, okay, I should be mad at both of you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, like, I mean, if she didn't know, like, if the girl that he had the affair with
Yeah,
didn't know, like,
I have a
that's
funny
totally
story about
different.
that.
But,
Yeah, I have a funny
like,
story about that.
you know, ultimately, if she did know, then both of you were at fault, and I
Oh,
should be
yeah.
pissed off at both of you.
Yeah,
Equally.
exactly.
Because
Yeah.
you were equally to
100%.
blame.
Yeah, I have a funny story. One of my girlfriends, we were really close, and then she had a kid, so I don't see her as much anymore, but she's still a good friend of mine.
Darn children.
Yeah, I still see Alex. But yeah, children definitely make things a little bit difficult. But anyways, we met through the funniest story. It was one of these situations. So this was back in like 2011. So back in my clubbing days, I just finished BCIT. I was like, yeah, let's go celebrate girls' night out. And we went to a club in Langley, and there was a few bartenders, and they were like, oh, which one of you girls is single? And I'm like, oh, I'm single. And you know, I just wanted to have fun and like make out with some dude or whatever. And the other bartenders were like, this dude's single? And I was like, okay, cool. So we like ended up making out, and then he's asking me to come home with him. And I'm like, no, dude, I'm with like 5 of my girlfriends.
Yeah.
It's like girls' night out. I'm going home, right?
Yeah.
And apparently at the same time, he was texting my friend saying,